Amid all the Ben Simmons drama, there have been reports that the agency that represents him, Clutch Sports, has a specific vision for his future. They want him to be the number one option on a team, and they think he can be a face of the league type player. They want him in a situation like Giannis, with elite spacing and all the room in the world to attack the rim relentlessly. They think in that type of situation, he can thrive and become what they have envisioned for him since his rookie year. But can Ben Simmons thrive in a situation like that? He is a great finisher, ball handler, and playmaker, similar to Giannis, even better than Giannis in terms of passing and handling the ball probably. There have been some holes poked in this theory already, with Ben shooting 68% from 0 to 3 feet last year and Giannis shooting 83%. That's a pretty big difference, but for what it's worth, their career averages are pretty close, with 71% for Simmons and 73% for Giannis. But regardless, let's test this theory. And what better way to do that than to put Ben Simmons on the Bucks? The exact situation that Clutch envisions for him is right here. It's the same exact lineup. The only difference is Simmons is slotted in for Giannis. He's the number one option, and his shot tendency is up to about 80, so we're just going to see what he can do. And 17 games into the season, they're actually the 8th seed, which isn't too great. Although Ben is averaging 23, 7, and 8 on a career-high field goal percentage, so that's cool. His best game by far was the one against the Nets, where he had 36, 9, and 7, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. On 17 shots, too. He could have had more if he didn't miss 10 free throws, though, but he did get there 22 times. He's also had games like this one against the Pistons, where he's got 17 points on 17 shots and barely gets to the line at all. But let's see what it looks like after a full season. And after the first full season, he already appears on all NBA first team, above the likes of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. So I guess he was pretty good, if you consider basically 24, 8, and 8 with 2 steals being pretty good. He was also on all defensive second team. They ended up as the 3rd seed with 52 wins and are going up against the Celtics in round 1 and taking care of them in a pretty easy 6 games. And now, in round 2, they're going up against the Nets. And if you remember, Ben killed it against the Nets in games early this season. So this one should be interesting. Never mind. I mean, fouling out game 1 certainly didn't help him. Or game 2. He showed the hell out in game 3, though, and somehow still almost lost by 30. And game 4 was just a good game, and they lost by 3. It's Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. There's not really much that you can do there. But on to season number 2. Here's the rotation for season number 2. Pretty much the same exact starting lineup, except Portis is now in there, plus Cantor is off the bench. And at the end of the season, it was a bit of a step back from last year. All NBA third team appearance for Ben Simmons, averaging 23, 7, and 7, and a steal and a half. No all-defense selection this time around. In the first round, they face the Zach LaVine-less Bulls. I have no idea where he went. That should be a pretty easy series, though. And look at it. It was. Simmons was dominant in this one, too, averaging 29, 6, and 7 with almost 3 steals and 2 blocks. And look at those percentages. He's going to need that against MVP Jason Tatum in the next round. But once again, they're a second-round exit, this time to the Celtics. To be fair, Tatum had 55 in a winner-go-home Game 7, and Malik Monk had like 36 points in Game 4 or 5. Simmons also took a huge step back in this round, though, only averaging 19 points on 55% from the field. The free throws held up at 71%, but it wasn't nearly good enough against Tatum and the Celtics. And season number 3 is here, and Middleton was re-signed to a huge extension to be the number 2 guy for 5 more years. Drew Holiday has regressed pretty heavily. He's still going to be one of the best guard defenders in the league, but the offense might be pretty limiting the rest of the way. He's actually coming off the bench right now for Kemba Walker, who I guess is trying to ring chase on a team who's been a second round out the last 2 years. He signed for $1.73 million. But despite all that, this season ends pretty strangely. Ben Simmons is back on All-NBA third team with his worst numbers of the simulation so far, 23, 7, and 6, with 2 steals, although his free throws look great compared to the rest of his career this year. It's actually career high. But the team also finished with the worst record so far with 45 wins, and they're sitting at the 6th seed. They faced the 3-seeded Hawks, and I don't really have a good feeling about this one because Trae Young in 2K is ridiculous. But that apparently does not matter at all because the Hawks blow a 3-0 lead, the first time anyone has come back from that, led by Ben Simmons, who was once again great in the first round, posting 26, 7, and 7 with 2.5 steals on some really good splits. And next, they face a Raptors team who honestly, they shouldn't really be too worried about looking at the roster, but I guess it turns out they should be a little more worried than I thought. Once again, Ben Simmons is out in the second round. And once again, Ben Simmons crapped the bed in the second round. 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 49% from the field, and 47% from the line. So, I think that's it for this simulation. This Bucks team is only going to continue to regress. In 3 seasons, according to 2K, Ben Simmons could not thrive in a system like Giannis. He would see a pretty fair increase in numbers, but as the number 1 option, he wouldn't be able to take them anywhere. Beating Trae Young and Klay Thompson, but losing to Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes makes no sense to me, but oh well. What do you think? Do you think Ben Simmons could thrive in a system with tons of spacing and room to attack the rim? Or do you think he'll always be a cursed complimentary player until he possibly starts to develop a jump shot? Let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching, and y'all have a good one.